Hello, it's time for another exciting unboxing, and this one's no mystery because it's written all over the box. This has finally arrived, cool mini or not. It's Cthulhu DMD, Fear of the Unknown, which is the second Kickstarter for the Death May Die IP, or is that called IP? I guess, yeah, I don't know. It's all Cthulhu mythos, H.P. Lovecraft type stuff. It's actually a super cool game. This one's interesting because it introduces some new missions, new characters, new elder gods, new monsters, and a new system that allows you to mix and match the monsters. So in the original game, the monsters that you use are determined by which elder god you choose and which mission you choose. In this one, it has an unknown monster mechanic, which allows you to sort of insert any of the monsters from the game into any of the missions that you choose to play. So I'm pretty sure I went all in on this one, so I didn't buy any extra dice. Everything is as expected, very nicely packed. And so we have lots of stuff. So we have Fear of the Unknown, which is season 3 of the game. In the original, look at that, you can't really see it when I'm holding it way up here like an idiot. Looks great, very thick box, lots of content in there. So we have Fear of the Unknown, we have the Kickstarter extras, which is the unknowable box, and we have season 4, which is the season 4 expansion of Cthulhu DMD, which has another monster or another, what do you call it, old one. And then we also have this little new mechanic expansion called Animal Allies, which includes little miniatures and cards for pets or friends, animal friends you can have that can either be normal or extra, what do you call it, Lovecraftian. And then here's one more of the boss monsters, Ithaquai, the Windwalker, who I never heard of before this campaign, even though he exists in the all the tons and tons and tons of literature out there that's in the mythos. And I've been seeing more and more of this guy, and he comes with some support monsters and cards and things. All right, let's get this big box out of the way so we can dig through all these boxes. And I would imagine it's probably best to start with the base game box. What did I do with my knife for slicing? There it is. All right, still visible? Yes, excellent. All right, let's have a look. Let's see if I can get this plastic out of my way without doing any unnecessary damage. So this is Cthulhu was one of the last games that Eric Lang did lead design for before he departed, cool mini or not. I think he still does do work for them as a designer. He's just not their lead designer anymore. He went back to doing strictly freelance. But it has all of the trademark aspects of games designed by him. Lots of intermingling mechanics that by themselves are not necessarily big, but together makes for quite an interesting and many-layered game. So it's a game by Rob DeVoe, Eric Lang, and Marco Portugal. So also, don't forget about Rob DeVoe and Marco. They both had huge impact on the design of these games, especially in these later seasons, as they would have taken more of a lead role. So we got the rule book and just standard thickness of box. This is generally what you can expect from Cool Mini or Not, which is pretty good. It's got some neat little, what do you call that, UV coated section. So here's the rules, which wouldn't be changed drastically from the original rules. This is supposed to be completely compatible with the base game and season 2. And here are all the character cards. There's so much to get through here. Now, one of the cool things about this game is it is very modular. So, you have a lot of content in the box, but kind of like Zombicide, you pick your characters. So I have all of these to choose from, and then many more in the other boxes. But you only choose, one or two characters per player to use. Oh, drop them on the floor. And then you choose a monster, choose a mission and choose a great old one monster to defeat. And that sort of changes the game each time. And then each character has their health, their tiredness, and then their insanity track. So the further along this goes, the more powerful you get. You can unlock abilities, but also if you get to here, you're insane and you automatically lose the game, making it very hard to win the game. And sort of balanced depending on how you play it, so you generally end up with a big final confrontation between your characters and the great old one, where you're just possibly managing to defeat the great old one as your character dies, which is sort of the ideal. So we have these two thin card things that allow you to place your cards so you can keep track of your Elder One and the episode monsters, the Elder One minions, and then you can also have these two unknown monsters, or one, depending on what level of difficulty you want to play. Here's the punch boards with all of the map components, and also, the health trackers and portals and staircases and fun stuff like that. And then inside, underneath those things, we have all of the cards and then all of the miniatures. So these are the unknown monsters. So a lot of these will actually be, in this box, I believe these will be just the ones from this box, but some of the expansions include the unknown monsters for all of the other existing expansions and base sets. So this base set is playable as is. So these are all new monsters. Oh no, that's a monster from the original game. So this includes monsters from the original game, the base set, and the first Season 2 expansion that allow you to insert these monsters into your game, even though they may not be automatically included. And we've got two great ones, Azathoth, and Tsathagu. And this is very cool. They come in their little box, and inside the box, they have all of the components you need to play the game a little bit differently because you're facing a slightly different adversary. Super cool. And there is this crazy monster in here. If I can get this open. Looks like they probably have little bits of tape on here. No, not there. Yeah, but there's some tape there, preventing me from opening up. And look at this. So there is this thing, Azathoth. There's like just a lot of tentacles, and we'll say a mouth hole? Sure. And then underneath there, we got a little tray of minions. Oh, and they just went all over the floor. That's alright, I found them. And they look like this. Very cool. Walking around playing their organic trumpet thing. So they singing the song of Azathoth to bring him into this plane of existence to wipe out all of humanity in glory and madness, or something like that. I don't know. It's the important thing is to get in there and wipe them all out, so that humanity can have another day. And here's some tokens that look like interesting things. And these are the minions. And Azathoth himself, the old one cards. I'll just put all this back in here where it goes. And then we have Tsathagu, who's, as far as I can tell, he's kind of like a big lazy toad that makes everyone sleepy. And there's his little sleep trackers. So I guess you add those tokens to people and they modify them so that they can do less. And here's his mythos cards, which are events that happen. And here's this guy, who's pretty cool. Can't complain about this miniature, who's actually quite large, and he's just a horrible giant toad monster with barnacle arms and bat wings, and just not fun at all to hang around, I'm sure, unless you want to have a nap. And here's some weird tentacle, what is it, squiggly, blurble, looks like colonies of bacteria. Excellent, with faces. And I'm trying to get through this a little quick, so I'm not opening up all the cards. And some of this also is, might be surprise content for people, so I don't want to ruin that. But if you're watching this video and you're going, oh man, I really wish I could have a look at the cards, just put a comment in the comments below and just say, hey, can I have a closer look at the cards from this box or that box? All right, so here's many of the other base game components, which are very necessary. So here's some of these cool monsters. Look at that thing. One-eyed, one-legged, two-winged, pterodactyl-looking monster. Here's one of these serpent men that comes out. So they have about 5 of those ones. Here's kind of a boss-looking fellow. He's trouble. And we've got our bases and our trackers for your characters, and with up to 5 players, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. And the base dice. You can also get extra dice, which is good to get. And here's the cultists, a very important part of any game of Cthulhu. The first thing you ever have to deal with are these darn cultists and all of their culty activity. And these ones are slightly different than the base game ones. Is that coming through? Is that a bit blurry? Doop. So yeah, very cool. And then here's all 10 of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 heroes. So, and you can play with up to 5 in a game, so that gives you a lot of variety. So if you have 5 people in your game group, each person can play twice and have a different character every time, or you can just mix and match. Of course, we mustn't forget all of the super cool extras that came with this. So there's actually a much bigger variety, and don't forget about the entire set of what is it? The original 2 seasons of this game. So it's not coming into focus. My hand is in focus, but I want this guy to come into focus a bit better. That would be nice. Wouldn't it? Anyways, I'm wasting a lot of time trying to get that into focus. Maybe if I hold up some white paper. And that helps a little bit. Here's the kid. Gotta have a kid. If you're trying to fight the despicable forces of evil, it's always good to have a kid in your group for some reason. And what's he got? A little knife. It's a leather knife or something. And then here's like a lady in the army with her camera and her bag. And here's a Kung Fu master. Maybe Tai Chi, I don't know. And here's a guy that looks suspiciously like, what's his name? From Archer? Anyways, a doctor with a bone saw. Very handy. If you need that leg chopped off, he's there for you. And a guy with a gun and some hippie looking beads. Whoa, focus, baby. This is so frustrating. This camera kind of sucks. Why won't you focus? Anyways, sorry about that. I wish I could get this to work a bit better so that we could actually have a good view. And this guy's like a old-fashioned circus strongman. Gotta have one of those. All right, and then what's on our third layer of miniatures in this box? Only one way to find out. Well, this tape is doing all sorts of weird things. What are you attached to there? That's what. Ah, some big monsters. That's good. That's good to see. Yeah, this guy, he'll come into focus, won't he? Yeah, that's better. And a couple of these ones. Which end is up? Got extra arms. And a couple of this guy. He's got kind of an emo haircut. What are you doing? And then a bunch of these little guys. These are your standard baddies in the base set that you'll be. If you have nothing else, you get to deal with these rather horrible looking creatures. There we go. All right, we'll put that all away. And then we've got the episode boxes, but I'll probably leave those alone for now. One, it's going to take me forever to flip through it all, and two, I don't really want to give too much away on the content. But there they are. There's 6 in the base set, and they come like that. And inside you have cards, tokens, and everything you need to set up your mission. So each time you play this game, you're going to be changing 3 variables. Your characters you're playing, the old one that you're playing against, and the mission that you're doing. So the first mission is top of the morning. So you have sort of an event that happens or something you're trying to prevent from happening. And then while you're doing that, of course, you're going to encounter all of the nasty, wretched creatures that are along with it. All right, so that is... Why isn't that going down properly? Don't like that, because I put it backwards, that's why. It goes like this. There we go. That's a better fit. And there's all of our tokens again. And then our very thin playmats. And then our very important character playmats, are the same thickness as those other ones. And that goes on top. And that is Season 3, Fear the Unknown, Cthulhu Death May Die. It doesn't say Season 3 on the box, because this is the main retail version of this new release for the game. All right, let's move on next to the Unknowable box. So this is all the Kickstarter extras that came or were unlocked during the campaign of this Kickstarter. So hopefully, this was supposed to deliver, I think, like a year ago, but there was a number of delays, and so it took an extra long time to come out. Much to the chagrin of many a fan who was more or less patient. And by the way, I love the artwork on all these boxes. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? So, that nice linen finish on all the boxes. It gives it a really nice texture. All right, so we've got a little explainer of what's in the Unknowable box. We've got a massive stack of characters, because that was one of the main things that did get unlocked during the Kickstarter, was additional characters. Oh, and I didn't notice this before, but each one of these has a little bit of a flavor text and a bio on each character. Houdini is a character. That lady is Adora. She seems familiar. Dorothy? Which Dorothy is that? Dolly? Like Salvador Dali? Taylor Swift, perhaps? I don't know. Ryan? Saito. Steve? A football guy. James, who looks suspiciously like Patrick Stewart. Agnes, It looks a bit like a character from Dune. One of the, where do you go? Mother something. Amir Charles, who definitely looks like, who's that actor's name? Karen Antonio. So a lot of these ones will oftentimes, because they're sort of Kickstarter exclusives, they can get away with doing these once-off characters that look a bit like a particular actor or a particular character from a movie. So it's a bit of fun to sort of go through and try and figure out, who is this guy meant to be? Like Craig there is obviously, what's his name? Can't remember. Yeah, wow. Okay. Look at this guy, Archie the Sailor. I wonder, he looks a bit like a very grizzled version of, who's that guy? You know, from the cartoons they made a movie. Very helpful, thank you. Vanessa. And back to Houdini again. And each of those is really cool because each one has two normal ability ladders that everybody has access to, and a very unique one that's only that character has. So each time you get a new character, has some interesting combinations. And this is a special discovery card that should be in an episode, but is out on its own. Why? I don't know. It says Anita's command spell. So that might be something special that goes with the Anita character. And we've got these ones which are special unlocks. I think there's a vote to see which one of these. These are artifacts, you can pick them up. And then if you meet certain conditions, these relics can turn into like super powerful mystical relics that give you lots of extra abilities. And here's a whole nother group of unknowable monsters. So all the monsters that come in this set, you can then add them in to your games, your missions as unknowable monsters. Now this one's cool. This Nug and Yub is a great old one, but it's actually two for the price of one. So when you fight against these ones, you actually have to defeat both of them. And this is the board, the special board. And I've seen lots of people complain about this one because it's very thin and it folds out like this. And they hold it up like this. It's like, what a piece of junk. I hate it. And so, I don't know. It doesn't, you can see there's a bit of creasiness. Certainly if you're not safe with it, it'll not hold up very well. But if you just put it down flat, it's fine. I don't see any need to make a big stink about it. But I suppose it could have been a thicker card. But then that just adds weight. And here's their monster cards and their, what do you call it? And there's a gate of some sort. So little extra rules that go with them, which are here. So if you want to use them, you should read that so that you know what you're doing. And then here's the actual big old miniatures themselves. So they don't come, most of these old ones come with a minion, but instead of a minion, they just have two of these guys. Are they brother and sister, husband and wife, a little bit of both? Sort of beyond having any such restrictions. They're pretty horrible looking, just legs and tongues and horns. And I think they're supposed to like be the parents of other great old ones like Cthulhu. So if you're really into the mythology, you'll be excited by all of these sort of things because you're like, I know this story with that one, that's so cool. I can't wait to destroy the avatar on Earth. Alright, that's actually being difficult for me to put back in the box. Now these are the episodes. Now these are cool because the normal episodes are just those thin little boxes. But these ones, of course, have extra content. So more miniatures and events that happen. So I'll have a little bit of a look inside here because that's worth seeing. The cards want to fall out though, which is not cool. There we go. Whoa. And this guy, look at him. So this one's called Horror in the Museum, that makes more sense. So you come with the miniatures of the strange creatures that you might encounter there, and all the cards that you need to play the level, including the unknown monsters. So you can take these monsters from this mission and put them into other missions, which is very cool because of, as I may have mentioned, in the first 2 seasons of this game, that is not an option. When you play the game, you can play the mission that contains the monsters, and that's it. But now, if you have those old missions with those monsters, because the original Kickstarter extras from the base game did come with lots of new miniatures. Now, instead of only being able to play those monsters in this one mission, you can bring them out and customize your missions. And you can do it randomly, which is kind of cool when you think about it. Like, just sort of put a card in there, shuffle them together, pull one out, and go, oh, looks like we're going to do this one. So this one's The Color Out of Space, which is kind of one of my favorite Lovecraft stories, because it's just so odd. And there's the monsters, tokens, cards, all the things you need to play a game where color arrives on a meteor and horribly mutates all of the people and animals and plants in the immediate area with a color that's not normally visible to human eyes or animal. And like I said, there's the color and there's like mutated people swirling around in it. It's not so pretty when you look at it that way. There's a fox with its skeleton coming out of its skin, and I think this one's maybe a rabbit. Oh God, yeah. And this one is beaver, another rabbit, and who can forget about? Oh yeah, that's definitely rabbits. That's cool. I'm definitely gonna want to play that mission because it's messed up and kind of super cool. So some of these actually now I'm getting them mixed up. These belong here, so I couldn't get that nub box closed again. All right. So there's also the Dream Witch House of Lost Episode 3 and the Hypnos one. I'm going to leave those for now because this is going on for a while. But if you want to see more, please feel free. Now these are some of the heaps of extra characters that we got. So look, there's Mr. Houdini right there. The first one in. She's turning around the wrong way. These are really cool. They're all really well sculpted and they're based on excellent art. I find that the miniatures that are coming out of these sets are of a really nice high quality. It's good hard plastic. They're not deformed as can happen a lot of times, which is excellent. What does she got? A gun or a cigarette? It's a cigarette. And glasses. And does she miss an arm? No, she's got an arm behind her back. And so that's the first layer. And then there's a few more adventurers, investigators, I think they're called, here. And then some more monsters. So heaps of cool monsters that you can now add into your game without having, because you've got your unknown monster effect. So you don't have to play any specific mission to access the monsters. I think that is such a necessary mechanic in the game, because otherwise you just never get to get your favorite miniatures out with it. You end up having to play the same mission over and over again. But now you can bring them all out as you please, within reason. What's this one? Oh gosh, that is so cool. And then on this, we've got, oh yeah, Space Cats. I think they're called Cats from Saturn or something. And then some, they're mortal enemies, these little tree monkey Ewok looking things. And a few more of our favorite investigators. Very cool. Hard to see the details on this one as it is. Alright. So that's as much of a look at the unknowable box as I'm going to let you have. But of course, if you want to see more, please leave a comment and I'll get straight to it. Just going to try and adjust this so that Yug and Nub get back in their box all the way. One downside of this system that I'm not a big fan of is because they put them in these sort of smallish boxes with thin cardboard. Every time you open and close them, you're running the risk of damaging the box. In fact, it's almost impossible not to damage the box in that situation. I think this actually belongs right here. So like these sorts of the tabs and stuff will inevitably get creases and wrinkles. So the only way to perfectly preserve the content, the talk boxes, is pretty much just to not use them, which is clearly not an option. You've got to get into all of them. But it's a bit of a bummer. All right, we'll just put all this back in here. We've got one more big box to look at, which is season 4 of Cthulhu DMD, and then 2 small boxes that we can quickly look at. Oh my goodness. How are we going? All right. Now this one has, I think it's a reprint of one of the medical files. It's like insanity cards. So one of the mechanics of the game is each of your heroes can get preloaded with a couple. Well, this one has 2 cards in it actually. An insanity, and there's also artifacts or a new relics or a new added into the game. So like this one is Leon seizures. Oh. And then there's a relic that gives you a skull bracelet, which can turn into a nefarious skull. Ivory figure, which can turn into the Eldritch image. Oh, geez. Handy stuff. So I don't know if those ones are extras or if they're just replacements for misprints within the box. I think that they're replacements for misprints that they caught after they'd already started packing all this stuff. So rather than unsealing the boxes, they just printed the replacements and stuck them to the outside of the box. Perfectly reasonable solution, I would say. So here are season 4. Now currently they're about to run on the 3rd of December a new Kickstarter, the 3rd one for Cthulhu DMD, which will have seasons 5 and 6, which is a bit fast because obviously I'm just now getting this and opening it, so I'm not going to have time to even play this if I want to back that other one. Really cool, super cool artwork. So there's the extra rules. So now this is itself standalone. So this is all you need to play the game in one box. So if you bought this in retail, you would just get this. So here's our new adventurers, including Bruno, Vital, and let's not forget Gary. Gary what? Gary, I don't know. I don't know why this one won't come off easily, but that's my life. There we go. Got Gary. Is it just Gary? Gary West. Anika, John, Sylvia, Rosario. Now these ones, because they're in one of the retail sets, are not designed to look like any specific character. Usually they're more generic or unique, I suppose. So there's our unknown monsters. So this is the old one box for this set, which is huge, which is Nyarlathotep, and he can transform. So he has several miniatures, one of which is a huge dragon-looking thing. And he has his little minions, which are cool looking as well. So much tape. Oh, tape. We're still filming. We are 34 minutes in. We're getting to the last box almost. All right, let's have a look at this guy. So there he is with his horrible eyeball, skull, face, and wings. And there's his human. Did I have that in front of the camera, or was I holding it up here? Let's put it like this. There he is. That's better. All right. And then here's his human form, or mummy form, I guess. Very cool. Bags. And then they've got 3 of these minions. Oh, it's kind of like a different version of the Star Beast. It's kind of a weird frog monkey with a squid face. I guess I don't need to say it's weird because that's a given. All right, and that's just a massive tuck box. That's the biggest one I've seen for one of these guys. Very cool. And I love the interchangeability of this game. Like, you can just mix and match your monsters and your old ones, your elders, and your... This one actually doesn't belong in there. You can just mix and match them, and that's awesome. All right, and so as you can see, there's 6 more episodes. So here's one. And see, those ones don't include miniatures, so they'll include the cards, the different types of cards you need to play the game, and then tokens and some monster cards. We'll just have a quick look. Oh no, is it sealed now? See, as you can see again with the tuck boxes. Was I pointing that there? Cards. Tuck boxes, it's a little bit tricky. They do have that potential to deteriorate. Deteriorate? That's a tough word all of a sudden. Deteriorate. So there it is, cards. These are the cool little mission cards. So you do a thing and then you can choose, do they go this way or this way, and you either get an object or an ally or possibly a negative attribute. And sometimes you don't have a choice because you can only do what it says on the card, and if you don't have in hand something else that you need, you might not be able to do it. Or if you have a thing, it might force you to do one of those 2 options. But as you go through investigating, you sort of pick up those things. So there's those medical files again. Here's more of these cool artifacts, relics they call them, and then the mythos cards, which are events that happen as the game progresses. And here we have, there are 6 new heroes for this box. Investigators. Are they heroes really, or just people who happen to be in the wrong place at the right time? The right place at the wrong time. Doo-doo. There it is. And she's cool. I like that. Clutching her book. And she's got a much more active, what do you call it? Engagement with her book. And then the monsters that come with this set. Everybody has to have one of these guys. Good old wingy squid head monster guy. And then I think these are like supposed to be mutant penguins, which is so creepy. I would not want to know. And these hand rubbing monkey bats. No, thank you. But also, yes, please. And then even more monsters. Like this horrifying giant spider with almost human hands for like feet. And this little cherub demon looking thing. An imp looking demon thing. And what do we have under there? More big monsters. So that's just a big ball of moldy slime. Excellent. Why would you not have one of those? And a super scary looking death frog with poison tongue and teeth. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up there because this is getting a bit long. So I still have the pets and Ithaquah. I'll do those in a separate video. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button Leave me a comment. If you have anything more that you want to see more of, please put that in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to see more of my videos, especially because I've got a few more coming up with this one. And of course, the bell button thingy so that you can be notified when I put a new video up. Until then, thank you for watching, and I'll have a new video up for the rest of these guys pretty soon. So I hope you get your hands on this game as well, and we can all enjoy playing Cthulhu Death May Die. Until next time.